Hello, everybody, and welcome to EDU6200. This is EDU6200, Ethics and School Law, and my name is Dr. Richmond. If I didn't get to meet you during Dr. Hassan's class, welcome to the class. Those of you who I met there and a couple of you who were in my class this past summer, welcome. Glad to have you in the class. Again, my name is Dr. Richmond. I work by day for Hillsborough County Public Schools, and I adjunct here with Florida Southern College and the College of Education. And really excited to be working with you this semester, Ethics and School Law. School law is really a neat subject. It has a lot of great information for you as a teacher, as an administrator, as an educator, because school law is just huge in guiding what we do and ensuring that we take care of ourselves and do what's right by kids. And so we'll talk a lot about that throughout the semester. Those of you who I got to see at Dr. Hassan's class, very simple. I'm going to do a video every week and come to you just like this with information about the week, a little bit about the content we're going to talk about, and most importantly, all the assignments that are due. So I'm going to take some time in this first video to introduce you to the class, introduce you to what's going to go on during week one, and to really give you an overview of what's going to happen throughout this semester. So kind of pay attention. These are on YouTube, so you can watch them again and again and again. And I had students in the previous 2 semesters who've all said, oh, yep, we watch the videos over and over again, and that's why they're here. They're here for you to make sure you're on track and to make sure we're communicating back and forth. With your discussion forums, I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to encourage you as the weeks go on to try and do something that's more digital, more video-oriented, something that's new, and not just you typing into a computer screen each and every week. So we'll talk about that later on in this video. First of all, this is Ethics and School Law, and there are 2 textbooks. You can find them on the syllabus. You're looking at the law book by McCarthy and McCabe, and you're also looking at the Florida School Laws. Now, some of you emailed me already. You found 2016, you found 2015. Either one is fine for the purpose of what we're going to do. There's nothing that's specific that has changed from one year to the other. The important thing with having that book is to be aware of where Florida school laws sit and what applies to us as educators in a K-12 institution. And so that's really, really important that you have one of those 2 versions of the book, the 15 or the 16. The syllabus I've emailed to you guys a couple times now. It's also available for download in the course itself. Very important you familiarize yourself with the syllabus, and there's 2 very important sections. The first section is the one I'm going to look at with you guys first today, and that is the section that starts on page 11, and that is the course schedule. So we're going to spend a lot of time going over the course schedule. The second part you want to be very familiar with is the tasks, the WCG, the William Cecil Golden assignments, the ones that go in chalk and wire. And that starts on page 6. Speaking of those assignments, if you haven't yet bought your copy of Chalk and Wire for a previous class, it is something you will need for this class. There are several activities that must be assessed in Chalk and Wire, and I cannot give you a passing grade unless you do. So those are 2 areas, page 11 for the actual syllabus and what we're going to be doing week to week. And then on page 6 is where the WCG assignments start. And I'll come back to those week in and week out, especially when they're due. So, without further ado, if you're looking at your syllabus right now, page 11 is where you want to start, and that is week 1, which is this Tuesday, August 22nd. And really, it's a very simple week. You're going to read chapter 1, which is some basic overview information about school law. It's some background information for school law. I've given you a brief summary of what's in those chapters in the first discussion forum post. Also, you'll find during the week 1 piece in handouts, you will find an outline for this text, for the McCarthy and McCabe text. It's an outline, chapter by chapter. I've given you some key points I want you to look at. And especially when we get to later weeks, when you're working as a group and discussing this as a group, you want to know what points I'm looking for as far as what's important, what's going to be on tests, and what do I want you to gather from here. So week 1 is a very simple chapter. It's a very easy read, and you're going to do your discussion forum. Now, if you look into the portal under coursework, you'll see week 1's already available for you. You can see the discussion forum there. Very, very important with the college changing its rules last year. You must post in this discussion forum by the 28th. So if you don't post by the 28th, I have to drop you from the class automatically. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It doesn't matter if I like you or not. It doesn't matter if you were out of town. You must make sure you post during that week. Otherwise, the college will drop you automatically. So in your discussion forum post, you have two things you're going to do. Number one, for the first few weeks when I'm presenting the content to you and the questions, you're going to answer those questions in a thorough manner. Make sure it's something that shows you understand the content. That's really what it comes down to. Then you're going to post a response. And the response is going to be to two of your classmates. And each classmate, you're going to respond 100 words. So you'll have 3 total posts every week, 1 to the actual questions and 2 to your classmates, 100 words each for those. There's no minimum on the main one. If you don't do 100 words, you're not answering the questions, basically. You will write well more than 100 words to answer that first one. And we're going to start very slow with that. Start out with you guys just doing a regular discussion post with you typing into the text. So that's week 1 discussion forum, and again, make sure it's in there by the 28th. Also, number 2 is the WCG assignment number 1. All right, so if you look at page 6 in your syllabus, you'll see WCG number 1. There's a link there, and you're going to complete the Florida School Leaders website tutorial. If you already did it, great. You don't have to do it again. This assignment is the only WCG assignment that does not go in chalk and wire. You're simply going to take a screenshot showing me you did it, basically showing me that screen where you've completed the tutorial, and you can still refer to it if you've done it already, and you're going to upload that into the portal. So I'm grading 2 things during week 1. It is the discussion forum, and it is the WCG assignment. Number 1, the tutorial. Nothing goes in chalk and wire this week. All you're doing is posting it into the actual portal, and you're uploading a screenshot for me to look at. If you have questions about that, let me know. I will send an email reminder midweek, kind of reminding you what's due, when it's due, and all that. That's week 1. I want to give you now a rundown for the rest of the course and kind of how it works. So if you look at your syllabus back on page 11, week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we've got new chapters. We're going to cover 6 chapters in 6 weeks out of the law book, the McCabe and McCarthy book. And I apologize, I keep saying them different ways. I don't remember which author's first. It's 2 authors. It's your law book. Each week you're going to have a discussion forum. For weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, I've already presented you with some content from those chapters and some discussion questions I want you to look at. Starting in week 5, we're going to have groups presenting. And here's my expectation. It's very simple. We actually now have 19 students in the class, so there's 9 different weeks. And one of them I've put a third person in where I feel that the content is a little bit heavier, and I wanted you to have 3 people to work on that group. So you're going to sign up. I sent out the email this morning. I sent it out last week. Make sure you sign up via Sign Up Genius for the discussion forum project. You're going to do a week. It's going to be 2 of you again, except for that 1 week where you're going to have 3. And you all are going to read the chapter that's assigned that week. You're going to come up with the content you want to present. So what's important? What do we need to know? You're welcome to use the outline I gave you guys in the handout section as a guide. That's fine as well. Use that as your guide. And then you're going to present discussion questions. Now, there is no right or wrong here. What I'm looking for is that, number 1, you have covered the content in that chapter sufficiently. Number 2, I'm looking that you've presented questions that will provide some thought-provoking opportunities for your classmates. This starts in week 5. Okay, that's the presentation group. There's 2, and then 1 week there's 3 of you. Everybody else, and by the way, the presentation group, make sure, like week 5, it starts on 9/19. Make sure you have your stuff already posted on 9/18. The form will be open for you. Have it posted in there, so on 9/19, those who want to get started right away can start. Back to the other people. So everybody else in the class, on 9/19, you're going to read the chapter, you're going to read their content, and you're going to respond to their discussion questions. That's your initial post. The same way in the first 4 weeks you responded to my initial post, okay? Then you're going to respond to 2 of your classmates. So again, 3 posts, 1 to the questions posed by the group, 2 to your classmates. The responses will be 100 words each. That's how you get your grade. Now, the 2 people presenting in week 5, Your grade is based on the fact you've done what I've asked you to do as far as making sure the content is ready, and you've got a great set of questions. I found this last semester over the summer, it worked really, really well. We got some really, really neat discussions that went on, and it was great to see you all interact with each other, especially when you have people who are in public school, private school, charter schools, and in different counties, which is a really neat thing to have in this particular course. Look at how they interpret the laws differently. All right, so that's week 5. Now, the week 5 group, you have the option to respond to your classmates when they've responded to your post. I encourage it. It really does help the discussion to get things going, and it gets us really thinking about how we can help each other when it comes to school law. So that will go on every week. We have a discussion post all the way through the rest of the course. The next thing I want to talk about, the exams. There are 2 exams in the course. There's one during week 8. It covers chapters 1 to 6. And then there's one during week 16, covers chapters 7 to 13. There is no real exam on the Florida school laws. We just need them to be able to go over them. But there's an exam on the stuff in our textbook. So 2 exams. I'll produce a study guide for you guys a couple of weeks before it starts. It's based on a lot of the stuff we cover out of the chapters, multiple choice, some short answer things and things like that. And I'll give you more details when we get closer. Nothing to worry about yet. We got several weeks before we get to that point. Last thing, the WCG assignments. Now, this is really important as these are the things you need to be able to pass the course. These are the things the state says you have to do to be certified in ed leadership. And even though on page 6 they're presented in order, we don't do them in order. So the reason behind that, ladies and gentlemen, is not because Dr. Richmond wanted to change the order or the state wanted to change the order. The state puts them in a certain order, and that's what we have to follow. But for the progression of this course, they are in a different order. So if you look at your syllabus on page 11 again, you'll find that during week 3, you're doing WCG number 9, the field experience assignment. You're not doing WCG number 2. In fact, that one's not done until week 6. So very, very important. You refer back to page 11. I'll bring you there every week during my videos to make sure you understand the order we're doing the assignments in. We get them in a timely fashion, and we do all those things that are appropriate. Now, I'm approaching 12 minutes on this video. I don't like to go beyond 10 minutes normally, so I'm going to cut it off here in just a moment. I will come back to you at the start of week 2 with another video that outlines WCG number 9. I will later come back with a video just specific to the remaining WCG assignments going in the order you're going to turn them in. So not the order in the syllabus, but the order you will turn them in. And I'll give you that one video to be able to watch for all the remaining assignments that are not in these first couple weeks of class. We got plenty of time, but while the content is still fresh and new and we don't have a lot that we're doing yet, it's a good idea to review the requirements. Something else I want to draw you to before I close on the WCG assignments, the exception of number 1, every one of them goes in chalk and wire, and in chalk and wire you can find a rubric that helps you with what I'm looking for when I grade them. So when I come back to you next week with the video for week 2 and I talk about WCG number 9, I will actually refer to the rubric and talk about what should be in your post and what you're actually turning in to me. So that's really important. All right, back to the basics again. Week number 1, you're reading chapter 1. You got discussion forum. It's all ready to go. In fact, if you wanted to start now, you could. It's actually open and ready for you. And WCG number 1, the website tutorial on the Florida School Leaders website. All you're going to do is actually upload a screenshot for me to the portal, not chalk and wire. Again, this first week only, the assignment's going in the portal and not in chalk and wire. If you have questions, let me know. Again, everybody, welcome to the class. I hope you've had a great start to your school year. I think everybody's back to school now, and hopefully you'll find a lot of things that we do can be applied. Do make sure you talk to your administration. There are several assignments where your administration has to sign off that you've done this, so talk with them, let them know you're enrolled in this class, and there are several tasks they'll be working with you on throughout this semester. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday.